Hello friends, welcome to the presentation for the special precautions for works of engineering construction, and under that we are discussing about the safety precautions for transmission or communication lines. So normally we can observe these common types of power transmission lines nearby our area, nearby residential or nearby industries also. So these are the different typical proposed structure for these types of transmission activities or the communication activities. So this is typical double circuit 345 kV lattice tower. This is typical single circuit 138 kV wood or steel pole structure. This is typical single circuit 138 kV H frame structure. This is typical single circuit 69 kV wood pole structure, and this is typical single circuit 12 kV or 34.5 kV wood pole structures. So these are the different conventional structure which is already used by the different companies, by the government agencies, etc. And nowadays some different structures are also to be utilized by these agencies for the transmission of the energy. So the main part is that we are focusing on the safety aspects. We are not talking about what exactly the dimensions should be, what exactly the height is, and other construction measures. But we are talking about the safety regarding the construction of these towers, right? So in this safety precautionary measures, the main energy source is nothing but the electricity. So we must focus on the energy aspects, that is electricity. So there are different safety guidelines for working safely around these overhead lines. These lines are above the heads, that is why it is called as overhead lines. So normally in that area where these agencies are work, they are generally called it as OH lines. So OH lines means overhead lines. So all overhead lines must be de-energized and grounded. So if the energy is not there, if that lines are grounded, means the energy is nullified, then and then only we can easily work out that particular activity or the operations. So that may be the replacement activity, that may be installation activity, that may be the repair or maintenance activity, whatever it may be. But if you de-energize that line, if you grounded that line, then it is safer to handle these types of lines. So the other protective measures must be divided before work is started. Arrangements are required to be made with the persons or organizations that operates to control these electric circuit to de-energize and ground them. So all these facilities and arrangements should be done by that responsible person or by that organization itself. So sometimes it is a government organization, sometimes it is a contract or subcontract to the private companies or the private organizations. So if the lines are to be de-energized, so that necessary arrangement should be done by that responsible person or the organization. When protective measures such as guarding, isolating or insulating are provided, these precautions must prevent employees from contacting such lines directly with any part of their body or indirectly through the conductive materials, tools or the equipments. So contact is the main issue. So contact with the lines, contact with that pole, contact with that structure is the major issue if it is energized line or energized structures, and that is why these types of precautionary measures we have to take. So these guidelines and the details of these guidelines are given in the OSHA standards, so you can go through these OSHA standards for the details. Then another guideline is unqualified persons working on electric lines. So when an unqualified persons are working on the lines, then an elevated position near overhead lines, the location must be such that the person and the longest conductive object he or she may contact can't come closer to any unguarded energized over lines than the following distances. So we have to keep a specific distance between this unqualified person who is working on these electrical lines. So that criteria or the guidelines are given below. So for voltage to ground 50 kV or below, the distance between these energized override lines or the unguarded override lines and that person is at least 10 feet. Then for voltage to ground over 50 kV, 10 feet plus 4 inches for every 10 kV or 50 kV. So these are the different guidelines, especially for the 50 kV and the 50 kV plus voltages. So note, for voltage normally encounter with the overhead power lines, objects which do not have an insulating rating for the voltage involved are considered to be conductive. So if you don't know about that conductivity criteria, especially when we are talking about the electricity, then you have to assume that this material is conductive one, and then you have to follow the safety practices. And for the qualified persons working on the electrical lines, the guidelines are given again. So when a qualified person is working in the vicinity of overhead lines, whether in an elevated position or on the ground, the person may not approach or take any conductive object without an approved insulating handle closer to exposed energized parts unless the person is insulated from the energized part. So person should be insulated from the energized part. So that insulation may be through the gloves with the sleeves if necessary, and rated for the voltages involved are considered to be insulation of the person from the energized part on which work is performed. So from that point of view, the personal protective equipment with a specific IS standard are also important, and the calibration and testing standards should be followed for this electrical insulation purpose. Because if the qualified or unqualified person assume that this PP is appropriate one, which is a good PP, and if he does some work and if anything has happened, then the responsibility goes to the person who is taking care about the testing part, calibration part, and regular inspection of these PPs. Then the energized part is insulated both from all other activities or conductive objects at a different potential and from the person. The person is insulated from all conductive objects at a potential different from that of energized parts. So you have to take care about these energized parts. So whatever may be the part is, but you have to keep the distance. If it is not feasible to keep the distance and operate or repair or maintain, then you have to use the appropriate insulated IS standard tested and calibrated PPs for that purpose. Then in case if the vehicles are there in the nearby vicinity where overhead lines are there, then you have to take care about this vehicle and mechanical equipments. So vehicles or mechanical equipments capable of having elevated parts near energized overhead lines must be operated so that a clearance of 10 feet is maintained. So clearance should be there. So the initial or the lowest clearance is 10 feet because the some of the vehicles are having the capability to increase the length of that particular part or go upward or the vertical movement, and that is why this 10 feet distance should be maintained for non-contacting these energized overhead lines. So if the voltage is higher than 50 kV, the clearance must be increased 4 inch for every 10 kV over that voltage. So up to 50 kV, you have to keep the distance that is at least 10 feet, and if 60 kV is there, then 10 feet plus 4 inch, then 70 kV, so 10 feet plus 4 inch plus 4 inch, so 10 feet and 8 inches, and likewise. So you have to keep the distances as per the standards. Then safety precautions, that is general safety guidelines. If insulating barriers are installed to prevent the contacts with the lines, and if the barriers are rated for the voltage of the line being guarded and are not a part of the attachment to the vehicle or its raised structure, the clearance may be reduced to a distance within the design working dimensions for the insulating barriers. So if the insulating barriers are installed or provided, then we can minimize the gaps or the distances which is given by the standards. But that depends on the insulating barrier, that depends on the capability, capacity and reliability of that insulating barriers. If the equipment is an aerial lift insulated for the voltage involved, and if the work is performed by a qualified person, then also the clearance may be reduced. So if the expert person or the competent person is doing that activity, that is the aerial lift, then the distance may be reduced. So that is also depend on the working condition and the expertise of that person. Thank you.